to class today, and I'm so happy to see your faces. If you're on live with us on Facebook, please leave a comment. I will check on those when we're finished with class. And if you are live on Zoom, if you could chat in the box if you have anything if you want to say during class, and I will check on those periodically. Okay? If you're on YouTube, leave a comment. Okay. So it's June 30th. This is the week we prepare for our celebration of independence. Yoga facilitates freedom in our body by uniting or yoking body, mind, and spirit. When we are doing action that's not congruent with our belief system or congruent with where we want to be in life, that creates stuckness, and it creates disharmony, which doesn't feel, it feels more caging and more closed in our body and in our mind. So we're not as free to be open in the heart and be open to receive, new ideas, try new things as we could be. So hopefully today we'll flow with freedom or facilitate freedom in the body, mind, and spirit. I think they're all connected. We'll take a 4-part breathing practice this morning after we open up the spine, and then we'll do some sun salutations, some standing sequences, a little arm balancing, and heart openers. A well-rounded class that hopefully you'll get something out of. So sitting up nice and tall on your blanket, your pillow, whatever you have available, block. Hands on the knees. We'll start with a simple cat-cow movement through the spine. So there's a lift in the sternum, and as you exhale, there's a little rounding. So you might feel like you're rocking forward and back on the sit bones. There might be a feeling of the sacrum, the pelvic bowl tipping back and then tipping forward. More importantly, we're drawing it back with the belly, and then opening it up with the heart. Drawing back. And the inhale through is the extension part. The exhale is flexion, forward. Inhale, extension. And exhale, flexion. We'll add some arms with this. As you come forward and open the heart, we'll open the arms. And as you draw back into a more cat-rounded position, we'll bring the arms forward. Inhale, open the arms to the side. Exhale, flip the arms forward. And then we'll make this fluid. Inhale and exhale. So you can experience more movement, more freedom in the shoulders, the arms, heart and chest. Let's twice more. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Once more. And then end with the heart open. Arms extended. Plant the right hand to the mat and bring the left arm up and over. Hold for 2 breaths. Opening the shoulder, especially of the hand that's anchored to the floor. Sometimes we close it off. So keeping the shoulder open, and also open the left shoulder, and then we'll bring the torso around towards the floor, rotating through the waist. Inhale to the sky, so we're looking upward. Exhale, rotate through the waist, and now we're looking downward. The hand that's on the ground, this is the one we want to pay attention to, and keep the shoulder drawing back. So the stretch is through the front side, the clavicle opening, and then as we rotate down, we get a beautiful stretch along the back side. One more time, inhale, exhale, and rainbow the arm all the way up. So So we become vertical through the spine. Exhale, drop the left arm down, and the right arm is up and over, bicep to the ear. Hold for a couple of breaths here to open and lengthen the side body. Then we'll begin the movement. The movement is a slight twist or peeking the heart up towards the sky. And the exhale, we're rotating through the waist and bringing the hand to the floor. Inhale, and it may or may not touch. So the rotation happens through the torso, through the waist, just feeling as much movement as you have in that area. Maybe it gets bigger with each breath, or maybe it stays the same. Any movement is just great. Exhale, rainbow the arm up to the center, vertical spine, both arms coming overhead. Clasp the hands, interlacing the fingers, and then press the palms up to the sky. Just stretching the elbows more closely towards your ears, bicep to the ears. And then bring the arms forward in a rounding position, much like we did that cat-cow. And then on the inhale, unfold and extend as far back as you can. Inhale forward. Exhale, press down through the sit bones. Inhale, rise up through the chest. Let's take it one more time. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift up. Take the shoulder blade down the back. Then release the arms into goalposts. Squeeze and hug the shoulder blades on the back. Here, and then exhale, bring the elbows and palms together. You're going to notice the back, upper back stretching here. And then we want to contract the upper back to bring the elbows more wide. It's not just opening the elbows, but now squeezing shoulder blades on the back, and you might get a little more space in the front body when you do that. Let's try it one more time. Exhale, closing, bringing elbows and palms together. Deep stretch in the back, and then open, past elbow, past just the opening, and then squeeze and hug the shoulder blades on the back. And then bring it to neutral and release the arms to the floor. Cross left wrist over right thigh, and we'll twist to the back wall. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release gently, coming back to center. And we'll cross to the other side. Gentle opening. Our spine is moving in these 5 directions. There's extension upward, and then there's flexion forward, extension backwards, flexion to both sides, and then circumduction, and the twisting through the hip. We got 6 movements. And then we hit pretty much all of them. And then come back to center. Let's take a shoulder shrug. I want to exercise the eyes for a moment, just to get the connection here in the center of the forehead. Got the occipital or orbital movement in the eyes. Really has the opportunity to connect right and left brain hemispheres. So you can do this a couple ways. Just bring your hands together, thumb and finger. So we're creating an oval, and then look at the thumb point, and then look up to where the pointers are touching, and down and up. So I'm not moving the head, I'm just looking down and then up. Without the hands here, you can travel all the way to the floor, all the way to the ceiling, all the way to the floor, and just get your eyes to move the full range. Well, let's take the eyes side to side. So you're going at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, if we had a clock here. To the right, to the left, all the way across. It's helpful to look at what's passing by too, or not just zooming the eyes, but look as you go all the way from right to left and left to right. And then take the eyes in a circle, starting at 12 o'clock, going down to 6, 9 and back up to 12 o'clock. 3, 6, 9. We're going clockwise 3 times. If your eyes get tired, you can close the eyes, take a little break. Now we're going to reverse the action from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. Circle the eyes. This is a really nice thing to do first thing out of bed. You start to integrate the brain and connect with the eyes. It's great for your eyesight. Yeah. Let's bring the feet forward. Oh, no. Stay in your cross-legged position. So I did promise a pranayama today. This is a box breath, sometimes called square breath, box breath. It's breath retention on the inhale and breath retention on the exhale. So we're inhaling for 4. We'll sustain the breath or suspend it for 4 count. And we'll exhale for 4. And then we'll hold the breath for 4 counts, making a box. That's why it's sometimes referred to as box breath. Begin with just a deep ujjayi breath. Exhale through the mouth. Let's take one more of those. Deep breath in. Exhaling through the nose. And take this nose breath into box breathing. Inhale for 1, 3, 4. Hold at the top for 4 counts. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold the breath here now for 4, 2, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale 4 counts. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3 more, your own pace. Inhaling. When you get to the top, hold. Connect with Mula Bandha. It's like you're lifting off a bicycle seat or attempting to lift yourself off a bicycle seat. Use those pelvic floor muscles. And then exhale, holding the pelvic floor muscles. Hold the breath here, but release the pelvic muscles. Again, twice more. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Exhaling. Holding. Utilize Mula Bandha in any way you can on this last set. Your own pace. And when you're complete, and we're not rushing, when you're complete, just take a regular ujjayi breath. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, let's extend the legs forward. You can stay on your blanket if you'd like. We're in Dandasana, staff pose. Shifting the legs side to side. We'll start with a little joint mobility. We did it in the spine, we did it in the eyes, and now we'll do it just for the ankles. For some rotation in the ankle and knee joint by spinning the feet. So nice to wake up the body this way. And I know some of you are like, this is mid-morning. Maybe some of you are just rolling out of bed, and some of you have been awake for several hours. In any case, it's a great break. So just move the joint. Let's go in the opposite direction. Excellent. Then pull the heels towards you. So we're bending the knee, making a deeper teepee shape here. The hands are going to come behind the base of the spine with the fingertips extending out. Squeezing on the shoulder blades on the back like we did earlier. That gives a more fullness across the clavicle and chest and the pectoralis muscle. We're going to press down through the feet, pull the heels back, elevate the hips into an upward table shape. And our legs, our forelegs, are the arms and our own legs. Of course, the stronger you push down, the higher the hips elevate. Stay out of the shoulder as well. It's already 3 breaths. Bring the hips back down to the earth and the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. So the knees are going to drop gently towards the floor. The hands come through to the ankles. We lift vertically through the spine. Inhale. Exhale forward. Just leaning into this until you feel a sensation maybe in the inner thigh, the leg. 3 breaths here. It's already 2. Let's take 1 more. And rise up to a vertical position with the torso. And we'll take the shin vertical as well. Soles of the feet on the mat. And then round or walk back. They're flexing through the spine. And then come back onto the sit bones. The hands plant to the earth, fingertips facing out. We extend the spine upward. This is all about flexion and extension. So we'll begin again with Urdhva, tabletop or upward table. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the hips to the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hands come through to the ankles. Lift the spine. Inhale, exhale. Take it into the forward fold. Inhale again, drop up through the crown of the head. Exhale, bring the shins parallel and rock back. Inhale, full lift through the spine. So the spine is doing flexion and extension. Exhale, push down through the heels, lift the hips, hold here, inhale. And exhale, bring the hips to the floor. We'll do that twice more. Soles of the feet together now that we have a hang of it. Lift through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, shins parallel, drop back. Inhale, lift, extension through the spine, plant the hands to the earth. Exhale, lift the hips. Hold for a breath, inhaling. Let's see if we can go a little higher. Exhale, release the hips to the floor, last time through. Soles of the feet coming together. Inhale to extension. Exhale, flexion. Inhale, extension, so we lift through the spine. Exhale, flexion, we round and hold the knees to support that contraction. Inhale, extension, the hands support now behind the hips. And exhale, lift to a full tabletop. Inhale, hold. And then exhale, release to the mat. Excellent job. We'll cross the ankles and bring the torso forward through to a hands and knees position. You can move the hips around or slide aside. Just take a moment to get comfortable here on hands and knees. Squeeze the pads of the fingers into the floor so they get a really good grip. And then the feet, toes turn under. We're going to lift the knees and slip back into a downward facing dog. Bend the knees a little more. And the shoulders forward into a frog dog or tiger dog. Lifting the hips, getting a little more comfortable. Take the feet wider. And then push into the mat with the hands to lift the hips higher. From there, press the heels down. Now I'm going pretty deep because I've already done a class today and my body's warm. You may or may not get the heels to the floor. It's solely dependent on our genetic makeup. Also dependent on how cooperative the hamstrings are. But you should feel a cool tension opening through the back body. From here, from downward dog, we'll walk the hands back towards your feet. Come up onto your finger pads. So walking back, the feet are as wide as the mat, the width of your mat. Keep the hands underneath the nose, about a torso's length away from the feet. And we'll give a little micro bend in the knee. Push the floor away with the pads of the fingers and shift the hips back. I call this an Uttanasana hinge or a forward fold hinge. So we get to stretch the side body. It's a different feeling in the back. Open the posterior chain. And experience our body in a different way. Breathe in, breathe out. Just as we'd like to experience life in a different way or experience ourselves, occur to ourselves differently. So when the same triggers come up, we act differently on them. And that's true freedom, being able to facilitate change in our life the way we want to go. Let's bend the knees and bring the elbows to the knees so we raise up slowly from that forward fold position into a standing, possibly pausing, bringing the head above the heart, hands to the knees, and then roll up slowly. Bring the feet together. So we're at the back edge of your mat, arms overhead, full vessel mudra. Clasping the left wrist with your right hand, crescent over to your right side. So if I'm facing you, it looks like this. And bring it back to center. We'll switch the grip. Opposite hand and crescent to the left. Full deep breath in, full deep breath out. And come back to center. Bring the hands to your back pocket. You're going to slide the fingers into the back pocket, down to the hip. And then raise the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. And hold a back crescent moon. I'll let my fingertips up, so I'm actually bringing my hands and slipping into the back pocket, but my fingers are upward. Full range of motion. 3 breaths, sorry, 2, 1 more. And press down through the feet. Inhale, lift back to center one. Coming overhead, vertical through the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, a little separate with the feet. And bring the chest to the thighs. You hover in a T shape with the arms and hips moving in opposite directions. Lift the rib 1 inch off the ground, off the thigh. Hold 2 more breaths. We're firing up the legs a little bit. 1 more. And then release the hands to the earth with the hips. Inhale to a flat back, hands to the shins. Exhale, dropping it down to a full forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Pushing down through the feet and come into that full vessel mudra again. And hands to your heart. We'll take another round of a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms coming overhead. Exhale, straight down the middle, forward fold. Or a big swan dive, your choice. Inhale, half lift. I like the hands on the shins so I can get some resistance there. Exhale, dropping it down. Inhale all the way to standing. Full vessel mudra. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now we'll turn this into a series A. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Remember to bend the knees, especially if this is hard on your back or your low back at all. It would look like this. We really bend the knees and bring and have a more vertical or straight spine. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, dropping it down, or just keep it here. We're going to walk the hands forward into a downward facing dog. And the feet might come back a little bit, so you're on either side of the mat. Inhale to a plank. And then back to downward facing dog. Let's just take that glide action a couple of times forward and back, and a third time coming forward. Hold here, drop the knees to the floor and bend the elbows down to chaturanga. Inhale to low cobra. Peel the shoulders back. And then exhale, forehead to the floor. Reverse the push-up into downward facing dog. So that's the full movement of a sun salutation A. We'll take 3 breaths here in our downward facing dog. This feels a little more open than our first one to me. Step your right foot forward, left leg follows. Inhale, half lift. Again, getting some pressure, the hands and shin back into the hand. And then exhale, dropping it down. Inhale all the way to standing. Palms together, full vessel mudra, and then exhale. Namaste, ready position. We'll do that again. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Just another sun salutation A at your own pace. Inhale, half lift. Step back, left leg leading the way, right leg follows, and lower down chaturanga. So the knees come down, bend the elbows, and they come all the way to the earth in a low cobra. Release the forehead to the floor, press back up, take a downward facing dog. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. You are starting to activate the heart and get the blood pumping all the way through the body. So we have big gross motor movements. This should be warming to the body. Step left leg forward, right leg follows. Inhale, open the heart away from the chest and Urdhva or Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, take it towards the thigh in Uttanasana. Inhale all the way to standing. That's our second series A of sun salutation, and we'll take Surya Namaskar B with a deep bend in the knee, weight back in the heels. We create a zigzag action. 90-degree in the hip, the knee, and the ankle, and then bring the arms overhead, holding. If it's more comfortable, I would experiment a little bit with the elbows coming wide and then squeeze the shoulder blades on the back again. That might feel more free. Have more freedom of movement in the head. So freedom doesn't mean get to the posture, it means put the posture and set it to your body. That's true freedom. Exhale, go a little bit deeper here. Inhale, straighten the legs, and then forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, lift the heart away from the thigh. And we'll have a little fun here. Plant the hands, come up onto the balls of the foot so we can jump back, maybe in 1 or more moves. So it's a little, at the same time you lift the feet, your hands push down into the floor. And that gives you a little air, a moment of lightness to get the feet all the way back. If that's new to you, you can try 1 or 2 hops. So we end up in the top of a push-up. Again, the knees down or up. We'll bend the elbows and lower down chaturanga. Inhale, coming into a low cobra, or if you'd really like to chant, or coming into, if you feel like your upper back is ready for Urdhva, you can come into full Urdhva, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. It's Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Right leg steps forward, top of the mat. Bend your back heel to the floor and come into warrior 1. We're going through the movements that are associated with Surya Namaskar A B. Inhale the arms overhead, and I'm giving you options. Elbows wide, let's straighten the front leg. We want to keep the ribs back, the hips back, only the shin comes forward. Keep pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. And maintain a long spine, especially in the low back. Inhale, exhale, plant the hands to the earth. Step your right leg back to meet your left. You can always bring a knee down to free that leg up. And then we have a chaturanga. Inhale to low cobra. Forward fold, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. We do the same thing on the other side. Left foot steps to the top of the mat. Press your back heel to the floor so we have the feet on separate train tracks. Arms come up or wide. I want to really emphasize coming into or checking out this goalpost stance with the arms. So it looks like this. I'm straightforward. I'm in a warrior one position. The hips are squaring and top of the mat. So we get the integration in the back and then start to move the arms. We're going to give you more freedom. Your torso. Exhale, straight to the mat. Step the left leg back, meet the right. Full chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. This is how I'm going to cue it. You can make any modification that feels right to you today. Exhale, downward facing dog. And hold for 3 breaths in a downward facing dog. We're going to come forward the same way we came back, which is now reversing the jump back into a jump forward. So we'll come up high onto the balls of the feet. You inhale and then bend the knees and take the hips back. We're in a little crouch, tiger crouch. And then we'll pounce forward. So the lift off, again, a lot of pressure into the hands. Shoulders are steady. And we just jump halfway or all the way, feet to hand. Inhale with a slight lift. Exhale, drop forward into a full forward fold. Now go deeper. We're warmed up. We can do that. Bend the knees, weight back in the heels. Inhale, Utkatasana. Elbows wide. Exhale, look straight up. And hands to heart center. We'll repeat that series. A little quicker pace. So follow my lead, and if you're behind or ahead, do it with your breath. So you're going to follow the lead from your breath, and I'll talk it through with, at my pace. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, jump or step back. Chaturanga. That's one exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Finish the breath before you start the next. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll add a lift, right leg lift. Inhale. Exhale, pull the knee in, step all the way forward. Push your back heel to the floor. Now we're ready to push down and inhale, come up into warrior one. First warrior, exhale, plank the hands around the foot, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Pull the knee in and step all the way through. Exhale, push your back heel to the floor. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. With your own rhythm and breath, exhale, downward facing dog. And by the time we make it back to downward dog, we are out of breath because we are getting the heart rate up. That's the whole key benefit. There's many benefits of sun salutations, but one of them is just to get the heart rate going. Cardiovascular system. And it should be a little challenge. Let's come up high onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, and pounce forward again, halfway or all the way up to the top. Inhale with a lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Going a little deeper. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend the knees and come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Whew. Shake out the wrist. If you feel like your wrists are taking a beating, you can always skip some of the chaturangas until we start to strengthen the hands, or strengthen the forearms. One way of strengthening that is to open and then close. Open, close, and making a fist. And we speed that up a little bit. and go a little faster. And you start feeling the forearms get on fire. That's the muscle move. That's the muscle working. And shake it out. So from a standing viewpoint, let's take the arms up, overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, awesome. And then we'll twist it. I'm seeing your comment, and thank you for that chat. Let me address that. Okay. I'll give you some ways. When I try to step forward from down dog, I cannot seem to get my leg there. Hip movement does not want to cooperate. Okay. And I'll give you some pointers, and then if you stay online, we can chat about that as well. So Utkatasana, powerful pose. We're going to cross left elbow against the right thigh and take it into a little twist action. Now my head is above the heart. You can see that, the slope. Head is above the hips. If your hips are above the head and you're in this forward fold, then the elbow needs to come up and we karate chop to the wrist. And that might be a better twist for you. Now release that, take it forward. Separate the feet just a couple of inches from each other. Grab the big toe with the first two fingers of each hand. Bend your legs to get there. Inhale, move the chest forward. Just get in your body, feel what's possible. Exhale, push down through the balls of the feet, raise the hips and lower the head into a full forward fold. I'm using a little bit of my arm strength to pull me forward, but mostly I'm connecting with the abs to pull the chest towards the thigh, or press the chest towards the thigh. And then release, come back into Utkatasana, deep bend in the knees, weight back in the heels. Palms together, and now we'll twist the other direction. The elbow comes across, or the wrist. I'm going to show the wrist today. That feels so much more freeing. And if this is a great posture for you and you want to slide the elbow down, notice that I'm taking the torso with it. That requires more strength in the quads, more bend in the knee, and just a little more stabilization through the hips. And we'll release that forward fold. Inhale, stretch the spine. Exhale, take the heels and draw the chest towards the thigh. Inhale, release that. Walk the hands forward or the feet back, and we'll take it back into a downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the floor and upright the torso. So sometimes when we're in a downward facing dog, there's this movement in the sun salutations that steps one leg forward and one leg back, right? We're always stepping forward and back. There's other ways to get there. I like to come up onto my knees, and then with the help or use of a chair or wall, unfold the right leg. So we step from a knee position, the right leg coming forward, and then place the hands on the floor. Now we're in the same position, ready for a downward, or for a warrior one. We press the back heel to the floor and come up into warrior one. Likewise, if we take that back down, and you could use blocks. So we're promoting right action by reducing the posture to fit the circumstance. Bring the back knee to the floor, slide the blocks up, and bring the knee back to the earth. So we start in that downward facing dog. And instead of swinging the leg through, right, sometimes the hip flexor is very cramped. And if we have chronically tight hip flexors, this is going to be a difficult extension, pulling that leg through. One thing that does help is to keep the hips high rather than bringing the hips forward and then trying to get the leg through. You can see there's not as much space. If I keep the hips high, as in back here, now I've got space to bring a leg through. The leg comes through. That also requires a lot of ab strength and requires a lot of hip flexor strength. So bringing the knees to the floor and building that strength and energy. Again, stepping left leg forward and hands to the block. And then we come right back into a warrior one on the second side. Bring the hands to the waist and step your back foot forward so we end up to the top of the mat. I'll show you also a way to open the hip flexor and a way to strengthen it. We'll keep the right leg forward, take the left leg back. This is a good way to practice coming forward and back. It's just coming to a crescent lunge, push down through the front foot, and step forward. Step back, and step forward. Step back, hold. Hands to the waist or goalposts. Then we'll take the arms all the way overhead, clasp the wrist, and crescent to the right. This is a real big opener for the hip flexor. If you're feeling it so strongly that this is a hard crescent, bend your back knee slightly, tuck the tailbone under, and we increase the strength and the extension in the front body. Let's send it back to a straight spine, open the heart, inhale. Exhale, cross right wrist over left, and then bring it back up. And we're going to exhale through the mouth. So it's this action of shoo, staying or whispering the word shoo, shoo, shoo. Up on the inhale, exhale, shoo. Keep the whole low body in, shoo. One stable position, stabilizing, shoo. Standing part, lower body, and the upper body is free to move. 3 more, 2 more, last one, open and hold here into warrior 2. So we open that left hip. All the warriors are meant to strengthen and open and lengthen at the same time. This is why it's so difficult. And this one is what makes yoga different than stretching. Stretching, we stretch a muscle. In yoga, we strengthen one side to open the other. So we bend, right knee, let's bring the left arm down. We strengthen the lower part of the body and we lengthen the upper half. We're making a really strong crease here. Now straighten the front leg. Very strongly push down to the ball of the foot and pull the shin forward. Inhale, straighten. Shin comes back. Exhale, pull the shin forward. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, back into warrior 2. Your gaze is forward. Side angle, forearm to the thigh. Left arm reaching up and over. Hold 3 deep, long breaths. 2. Power. So the knee is straight over the ankle. 1 more. Now lift all the way back up to center. So we're in a warrior 2. Straightening the front leg and kick the hands together. Exhale back into warrior 2. Inhale straight overhead. Exhale warrior 2. Inhale, pancake the hands. Keep the legs straight, only the arms come down. And then we'll take our right hand and remind the hip to increase the depth of the crease here. increase the crease. Arms come out and we lengthen the torso forward, come down to the shin. Hold 3, triangle pose, 2, and 1. We'll do something that we did earlier, holding triangle, open the heart and chest, and then exhale, revolve the torso to touch hand to ankle. Inhale, open, exhale, close. This requires so much strength and stamina in the standing leg. You could use a block. Inhale, open for the last time. Exhale, bend the front knee. Place the hands on either side of the foot, using blocks if you like. Left hand remains stationary and right arm open to the side wall. This is a 75-minute class, so we get to take these progressions a little slower and add. And it's worthwhile once a week to really increase your stamina and take your yoga practice to a whole new level. Step the right leg all the way back into a plank. And now we'll lower the knees, chaturanga, and come all the way to the floor. Rest your forehead here. The hands are going to stay at the chest height. Elbows squeeze in, shoulder blades on the back. And then we'll raise the head, neck, and shoulders. Now not too high up, because we want to bring the hands off the ground and hold that lift. Your gaze at the floor at a point in front of your mat. So lift a little higher. We're moving the arch into the upper back. So the lower back is slower to move. The upper back gets more medicine here. And then release, reduce, take it to the floor. We'll try that one more time. Tops of the feet down. Hands pressing, shoulder blades on the back. Then pull the hands back and lift the chest forward. Raise the arms, raise the legs. Now plant the hands, keep the legs raised, and then just pull the chest through, giving it a little more height, and exhale all the way back down. You want to try that one more time? Let's do that one more time. So this is a different action than pushing the floor away and coming up with your shoulder or chest. We're actually not pushing the floor away. We're pulling the hands back and the chest comes forward and we lift with the back. We'll try that again. Hands down, lift with the legs, hands raised, back down and lower. Now press back all the way into downward facing dog. And we'll take the second side. So the left leg's going to come forward. Any way you'd like to do that. It can step all the way front. Remember to keep the hips high. And you can bring the knees to the floor and lift the leg forward. Torso raised. Bring the foot to the top of the mat. So many ways to do that. You want to honor and respect your body and where it's at. We'll lift the back knee, coming into a crescent lunge. Raise the arms overhead and crescent to the left. So I'm holding the right wrist. Getting a full, long stretch all the way out through the back heel. Now keep the thigh lifting upward so the hamstring is pulling up to the sky, not down. Okay, that's sinking to the hip socket. That's going to put more pressure on your hip flexor and make it inflame even more. And that's harsh. So pull that thigh bone up, support the hip flexor with the strength of your quad. Equal and opposite. Hold, get back to center, open the arms wide. Exhale with it out. Mouth. Inhale. Let's make this really beautiful. 3 more. Opposite wrist each time. Last one. Hold at the top, spin the back heel to the floor, anchor your front knee, and whole cooperative effort to open the hips and pull. Arms come out in warrior two, and we'll reverse the warrior. Right arm down, left arm comes up. Straighten the front leg, so we're pushing through the ball of the foot. Oh, that's a break. Now we're gonna pull the heel back to initiate the shin coming forward, possibly to parallel thigh to the floor. And then press again. And see how much mobility you have. Everybody can bend the knee, but keep the anchor of the back foot. One more, coming back into warrior two, side angle. We're gonna just hang out here, not literally hang out, but push the thigh away with the forearm. We get a beautiful long deep stretch through the side body. Inhale, bring it back up. Warrior two, pancake the hands together, straighten the leg. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, palms to the sky, looking upward, exhale, warrior two. One more time here, hold the legs straight, only arms come down. And your gaze is out over the front fingertips. You're gonna make a deeper crease as you come into triangle pose. Use of the block on the inside of the ankle at whatever height would be super appropriate here. That's already 3 breaths. Really strong way. You want your quad active and your calf. And we're gonna rotate through the waist and touch the ankle. Inhale, open again. Exhale, rotate through the waist, touch ankle. Inhale, open. And exhale. One more time. Almost all the way through. Exhale, bend the front knee. Plant the hands on either side of the foot. You can use a block here. And then we'll rotate open as your back heel comes up. We'll open to the left side. And the arm can extend straight up or bicep to the ear. And reach it. Really go a little deeper here. Both hands down. Step back. Plank. And we'll chaturanga all the way to the earth again. Revisit our low cobra. The lift of the heart, keep the ribs on the ground. We'll take the hands off the ground into general plank. And we don't want to keep the neck and look forward. It's just straight out over the front of your mat. Natural curve in the cervical spine. And lift the legs. Full Shavasana. Arms, legs, head, neck, and shoulders elevated. 2 more breaths. Squeeze and hug the ankles towards each other. They don't need to touch, but I want a 2 or 3 inch gap. 1 more breath. Oh, yeah. And release. Turn the head. Shake the hips. Very nice. Bend your right knee. And we'll stretch the front quad. You're going to draw the heel towards the glute. Bring your forearm underneath the forehead for support. A little breathing room. And you're keeping the top of the knee down. Tucking the tailbone slightly. If this is a great stretch, stay there. If you want a little more, upright your torso just slightly. Remember to keep the hips and shoulders facing forward. That's a deeper quad stretch. You can stay here for a good 10 breaths. Your quad needs to open. Tightness in the quad is going to create problems in the hip flexor here. Iliopsoas, or that psoas is the biggest muscle in your body. It's not surprising that it gets seized up and we have issue with it. One more breath here. See if you can release the tension in the quad a little more. And then let go of the foot gently, allowing it to go all the way back to the mat. Switch sides. Clasping the top of the left foot. Rest your forehead on the forearm if you like. Or if the heel is touching the glute, you may want to come up a bit. And that puts a more opening possibility on the quadricep. If you're already feeling it, keep it down here, low to the earth, and just keep drawing that heel in. And it might not budge, so breathe into it. Open the shoulder a bit, soften down. Only tense those areas that need to be tense. And there's very few of them. Only the support vehicles are tense, like my forearm. My hand that's holding the heel there is engaged. And the rest of my body is not. See if you can soften the tension build up and release it. It's going to create more freedom in the body. Go ahead and release that leg to the floor. Bring your hands back to chest height. Inhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders back into Shavasana. We'll raise the legs, this time in a jet airplane move. Bend the back knees. You can clasp one or both legs. So I'm showing one. Opposite arm will come out. If you have a hold of both feet, you'll hold for full 5 or 6 breaths. If you've got one foot, you'll hold for 3. That's already 2, one more. And then you'll switch the leg. So release one leg and go to the opposite. And hold again for 3 breaths. Using a strap is excellent. For those who are holding both legs, stay with me. One more breath. And then release it all the way to the floor. And that's our bow pulling pose today. We spent a little time in nice progressions getting there. Come up onto your hands and knees. Walk the hands forward into a puppy pose on a Hatasana. Forehead to the floor. Block. Block would be really nice. And then lift the arm bone, melt the heart. The block is too much for me. The forehead on the floor is better. You can do chin on the floor or heart to floor. One more breath. And then lift slightly and move the hips all the way back to the heels. And take a full child's pose. You get to rest, full back side of the body, and release the sacrum. One more breath. I know you'd like 10 more breaths. We are nearing the end and clap. We're going to raise the torso here. Plant the hands and bring one foot outside your right. And then the other foot. Elbows to the knees, and we're in a squat position. Ready to come up, but turn your feet slightly off the mat. So your toes are off, maybe your heels are on. Elbows touching. And we're going to press into the floor and raise the torso with the arms extended. Exhale, bend, and then touch elbow to knee again. Right back where we started. Inhale, push up. Straighten the legs. Exhale, elbows to knees. Inhale, press up. This isn't new. We did this last week. Exhale, touch elbow, knee, and hold. You're going to bring the right elbow inside the right knee. Left elbow inside the left knee. Plant the hands together. And lower the hips. Malasana. So deeper stretch for the low back. Plant the hands, lift the hips, and bring the chest away from the thigh. I'm just going to take my feet parallel. Exhale, take it into a forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest away from the thighs, and we'll come back into Malasana. So we need to turn the heels in. Keep the hands on the earth. Bend the hips. for the knees to bring the hips down towards the heel. So my shin stays vertical. Let's try that twice more, or maybe 3 times more. Let's get to the hang of it. So the hands plant. You push down through the feet. Keep the knees tracking over second, third toe. As you pull the feet in, we lift the heart away from the thighs. And then exhale. It's just a forward fold with wider feet. And then we lift, turn the heels in, toes out, and come back into Malasana. That's the movement. Let's try it twice more. Inhale, hips lift, heels parallel. Exhale, drop chest to thigh. Inhale, move away from the thigh. Heels in, toes out. Exhale, drop the hips down. One more. Inhale, push the floor away, heels parallel. Exhale, chest to thigh. Inhale, just make it flow. And then heels in, toes out, Malasana. Into an arm balance. So bend the elbows and bring them just slightly inside. Knees are wide, and then tiger claw the air. We're going to put our tiger paws on the earth and really grip make this energetic. So your hands are gripping the floor. I'm going to turn to the side here. Come up onto the balls of the feet and hike the knees up towards the tricep. Shift the hips up slightly. So they're almost a little bit higher than my head, not a lot. I'm not going here. So knees stay. Then I'm going to push the knee into the armpit and bend the elbow so the armpit makes a shelf. And I'm holding. I don't need to lift the feet at all to get the benefit, because my arms are strengthening as I push the floor away. And as I push the floor away, my feet just want to lift off because the weight distribution is balanced. So you get to that balanced weight distribution, but it can't be all back here and then trying to lift the feet. You'll never get there. Okay, the weight distribution has to be forward, the head and the hips, in a seesaw principle. 5 breaths holding wherever you're at, toes on or off the ground, but make sure the weight bearing is in the hands and the grip is strong in the fingertips. And then come out slowly into a toe stand, hands to heart center. Okay, we don't have time for a twisting, but we'd do a side crow from here if you wanted to do a side crow. Okay, that's something you can add on. One side and the other. I'm not going to workshop it today. We don't have time, but essentially you raise and stretch through the arm, make the twist, plant the hand, and then walk the feet forward, come into a crow. Side, Parsva, Bakasana, feet back down. And if you're just holding the toes down, that's perfectly legit as well. Let's bring your hands down and extend the legs forward. Back into Dandasana. And our wrists will be helped if we open and close, making the fist. So we release all the tension in the wrist. Hopefully we're not building up too much. And then just squeeze and open a little faster. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Keep the breath regulating and rhythm the same. Excellent job. I love your questions because it really helps class progress in a way that's beneficial for everyone. Let's open and close the wrists. So thank you for that question earlier today, Rebecca. It was really helpful to break that down. Okay, shake the wrists out. And we'll bend the knees again as we did in the beginning of class. Find your hip bone right here, so the anterior piece of it, and then if you can tip the pelvis forward and anchor the rib or the hip bone to the thigh. If the hands come behind you, we can facilitate that more easily. And then the ribs come, and then the chest comes to the thigh, and the hands come forward, around the toes. So everybody can touch your toes. Hey! We'll step on the gas pedal. You want to increase the openness in the back. Let's step on the clutch with your left foot and release it. Now we'll do it again, but let's see if we can create more space between the hip and the heels. Step on the gas pedal again. And one more time. If you have monkey arms, you really have to take your hands all the way to the sole of the foot. Now, some friends are still not feeling this in your hamstring. If you're feeling it, stay here by all means. Okay, if you're not, let's. And in fact, if you are feeling it, bring your fist underneath the knees, press the heels and forward, and bring the back of the knee into your fist. That's super helpful. You can lift the torso to any range you'd like to take, and that's more soothing to the hamstring. Okay, so friends who are still not feeling it in your hamstring, I'm going to slide the hands through to the elbow, so that brings your torso a little closer to the chest, making that forward fold more intense. And the intensity is only felt by your body. We intensify the stretch because you're not feeling it. We want to get into some feeling. Okay, and then even some friends will want to bring the elbows out and wrap the hands around the sole of the feet, still bringing the back of the knee towards the floor and the chest to the side. We can really go all the way in to feel the same sensation that others might be feeling in a different posture, or a different look for the posture. We're always looking for ways to fit the posture to your body, your uniqueness, your physique, not the other way around. I'm not trying to fit your body into a round peg in a square hole. I'm not trying to fit your body to something that doesn't work. Take the progression that feels best. We're here for 10 breaths, that's already 8. Let's go 2 more. I know it might feel like a long time to do with hamstring hindrances, which is 80% of us. Let's release that. Work your way back up. That deep forward fold. Good. And then position yourself so you've got room to lie all the way onto your back. Pull the knees in. Oh, such a fabulous work through. We actually got to all the postures today. We didn't break down our side curl, but we might get to that at a later date. The arm balancing. Bringing the hands on the kneecap, or the top of the knee. Circle the knees in any way that you'd like. In tandem, going one direction or opposite directions. So there's more hip movement. And either way, let's switch direction. And then cross your right knee over the left. We'll gently draw the knees in. This is Gomukhasana on the back, so it's supine Gomukhasana. Holding at the ankle or the sole of the foot, and then pressing the feet into the hands into the feet. So your right foot's pressing to the left hand, your left foot's pushing into the right hand. In tandem. At the same time, you're pulling the knees towards you. 2 more breaths. One more breath. That's intense for me. And then you're going to release, uncross the legs. Oh, no. Let's release and bring the feet down. So we're not uncrossing the leg. You're going to drop the knees over to your left. Your right arm comes out. Nice easy spinal twist. Full breath in, full breath out. Oh, that just feels good. We're getting ready for Shavasana. We're going to take 5 full minutes here. In Shavasana, as you come back up, you may want to extend the legs out. And then we'll cross opposite knee, so left knee over right. Or ankle to knee, that's an option. Different posture, but nonetheless a great option. So, active feet. I'm holding the ankles, I'm not pulling the feet in a sickle. That's important. Activate the feet. Draw the ankles gently in so that the chest, knees come in towards the chest. Then if you want to place the hand to the sole of the foot and then press foot into hand. And then the hand comes pressing back into the feet. That is the deeper stretch for me. Whew. Breathe. That's intense. One more. You'll release the feet to the earth, still crossed at the knees. And gently bring the knee over to your right side and with the left. Roll the head side to side. Bring it back to center when you're ready. Make your way into Shavasana. With the heels, you're going to extend the corner pockets, out, your arms at your side. Make this as comfortable as possible. I like to do a little shakedown of the body. And then relax the legs. Relax the palms, relax the arms and shoulders. The head rests completely and fully into the floor. Full deep breath in, and full deep breath out. And as we relax into Shavasana, it's really nice to give your mind an anchor or something to focus on. That could be an image in your mind, like a tree, something in nature that promotes peacefulness. We're in our relaxation pose. It could be bringing your attention or awareness to the palm of the hand. Or even if you like to bring the fingers together and just rub finger and thumb together, and that facilitates an anchor point for you. The anchor is to keep us in the present moment, in this meditative posture. You can release and let go in the body. If there's any tension held, just the invitation is to breathe into it and let it go, and the exhale, anchor to your anchor or revisit your anchor. The body to fully integrate the clasp. Can also call this integration posture, where we allow what has transpired to clasp, anchored in the body. I think it's coming up quite frequently in the world today is our humanness. Being aware of prejudice and versus diversity, honoring a person for who they are, not what they do, who they are, not what skin color they are, who they are, divine individual, a connective a connection to us in a very real way. We are all connected. What we do to one person, we do to all. We do to ourselves. How we move on our mat is how we move in the world. You want freedom. True freedom comes from loving oneself and being able to take that love into the world. True freedom is honoring of the self and being able to take that honoring and honor others. True freedom is when we accept diversity in all its forms and celebrate it. Humanity is this attitude of caring and mercy towards all people. We breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future. We all suffer and rejoice. And although in the eternal scheme of life, each of us is small, we are one of a kind here. We're irreplaceable. We lose our humanity whenever we generalize about a group of people and separate ourselves from them because of external characteristics such as race or sex. We tap into our humanity when we put ourselves in others' shoes and are genuinely concerned for their welfare. Our humanity grows as we serve others. There is no they, only us. Lengthen your in-breath. Allow that breath to flow through the fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. In a more mobile way. Draw the knees in and roll to one side. It's more of a curled up hugging position. Give yourself an acknowledgement of gratitude. When you're ready, help yourself to a seated position. Freedom is freedom for all. Freedom is liberating ourselves from the heaviness of separation. We've been separated for too long, both in our countries, our states, our cities, our communities, and it starts in our families. So if there's one area that could bring more connectivity into your life, start with those who are closest to you and then reach out in the community and together establish connection, honoring. And feel that you are part of something bigger. Humanity spans the globe. Not just your race or sex or creed or belief. And freedom is for all. If it's for me, it's for you. As we move into the 4th of July, may we celebrate not only the liberation in the US from oppression, but that we liberate others from being oppressed. Thank you for spending this morning doing the inner work on our mat, that we can take that out into the world. Find peace in our hearts, our homes. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be peaceful and free. Namaste. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook. Thank you for joining us on YouTube.